Baptist Church. We're just super thrilled to have DG Rene with us today, so we're gonna try to pack a lot into a small amount of time. Okay. I'm sure I have some announcements to make. Help remind me when I'm forgetting. Ellen,
Big general announcement?
yes,
This Orange County Public School announcement, if you are free on Friday morning, we're having the ag students who are doing their drive your tractor to school today. So it's a lot of fun. We start, I'm sorry, what? All the. It starts across from, Gibson's here in that vacant lot, at the bottom of Berry Hill, and then it, goes down to the high school on the Route 20 and the left on Selma. So anywhere along the route where you find a safe spot.
What time?
Do
Do they have enough parking?
yeah, maybe. So they get organized at 7:30 and they'll start at 8. And they'll drive one down. It'll take probably 10 or 15 minutes to drive down. Then I'll be running around taking video.
that is so cool. Thank you.
And the other announcement, a little further in the distance, but on March 29th is our day of service. This is the second year that we're doing this. And so in the beginning of March, Dr. Morgan is going to be putting out a message encouraging the community to join our students. And if you, we're doing it as a social media push to encourage people to participate. So if you're involved in another organization like Rotary or others, or just as individuals, if you want to respond to that social media post and say, I'm taking dinner to my neighbor, that's my way I can help. I'm picking up trash, in this park. Whatever it is that you feel like would be a good day of service activity for you as individually or you as a group or business, we would love for you to join us in that.
Awesome. Thank you, Ellen. Day of service is what day?
29th of March, it's a Friday.
29th of March. Awesome. Thank you. Ellen,
Also, Ellen, Job Cafe, you have a date for that yet?
Job Cafe is coming out in April. We're just trying to solidify a date. It's really challenging in spring to do that, but we're getting there.
And I know a number of Rotarians have
Yes.
volunteered for that.
We'll ask again and we appreciate all the ways you volunteer.
Job Cafe is a fun time. If you're not familiar, volunteers such as us will go into the high school and do mock interviews for children, older adults, for young adults.
I think they're.
Yes, that are preparing to learn how to interview and go out into the, job market. So that is a really wonderful exercise, and, I just enjoyed meeting the students and you give feedback on how they can improve their interview skills and also, what they're doing good.
Can I
Ed-
hang on to that for a second? Crystal?
Yeah.
From an employer standpoint, somebody who's had to do interviews, you don't realize how much those skills are needed.
Yeah.
Until you are actually trying to interview a young person for a job and they're sitting in the interview with their phone and they're going, yeah, okay. You mean I gotta be there at 8 o'clock? In the morning? In the morning? So seriously, it's a lot of fun, but it is very, very much needed by these kids because they don't have a clue. And it's not bad, I'm not speaking ill of them, they just don't know. So you don't know what you don't know, they just need help.
Absolutely, and I think we all take it for granted a little bit because we've been in the workforce for so long. Little tips like, I think the one young lady, she kept going, I think I can this, and I just told her, I said, say you can do it, be confident, and that little teeny tip could make the difference between getting the job or not. So, that's a great activity, and when we hear more about it, we'll push out those dates for you, Ellen. Egg hunt. Can you give us the details on the egg hunt?
Yeah, so we're gonna do the Easter egg hunt again, March 23rd. It will start at 10 when we will release the children to egg. No, there's a better way to say that, but it's better. Didn't like that. we're gonna do it over, in the field behind the elementary school. So sort of behind the football field, there's that flat space. It's got a little, sort of baseball diamond set up there. It's nice and flat and the children can go and do things there. If you would like to help, we would love to have you. We're just gonna throw the eggs out and then, we'll get candy and, gift baskets and that sort of stuff. It was really fun last year. It is a Saturday. Yes, it is.
That's not you need volunteers there.
8:30.
8:30.
Yeah, and it goes fast. I mean, we say it starts at 10 and they will be done by 10:15 because the group of people on the field motivated to die. They get it done, they do that. Yeah, yeah,
I need trash.
they do leave some trash.
And you're gonna need those baskets again this year like you did last year.
Yeah, so if you wanna do a basket, because some of the eggs will, say you get a Easter basket as part of it, we get like little stuffies, and so it's not all candy. And then I think MPS donated some books last year as well. So we have a variety of things that the kids can get and do. But the good news is I don't make people stuff eggs. We just throw out empty eggs and then they turn the eggs in to get their stuff. So they don't have to buy eggs every year and you don't have to.
That's one thing.
That's the best possible way to do
I could have used you in 1993, now, I was in charge of the excellence, I really could do that, all of that advice that you just gave.
This will be our second egg hunt, our second annual egg hunt for kids in the county. What do you need from us? Just to clarify, I know you just mentioned a couple things. Do you need donations of candy? Do you
If you
need
wanna
full
donate-
baskets? What is
Yeah.
it that you need?
If people wanna donate candy, if people wanna donate baskets, pre-made Easter baskets, it doesn't have to be super fancy, just a few little things in it. So egg, candy, baskets, and then people there to throw out the eggs and do that kind of stuff. And someone to hold my hand as I bunny, because I will be in the Easter bunny costume and I cannot see, anything.
You need a handler,
but-
the money is mine.
Yeah, the bunny is blind because I put a screen in the mouth because several children looked up and saw my face inside of the Easter bunny's mouth and started crying. Yeah. I'm trying to make it as minimally traumatic for the children as I can.
The things you learned.
Awesome. Thank you, Jen. And that is right around the corner. I cannot believe March is pretty much here. So the Easter egg hunt will be here before we know it. So please, please, please mark that on your calendars.
And then share it on social media. We'll go ahead and put it on social media as an event, and we've got a flyer once it gets,
Flyer will be presented to board today and then we can roll.
Yeah, so just share it and get it out there.
Thank you for all your efforts with that, Jess. Next.
Okay, so I've got two documents here, one is a flyer, one's more of a letter for the barbecue. This one, basically just a flyer, I believe we had a banner with that info on it last year as well. I'm gonna be going around to local businesses and just asking if it's okay if I put it in storefronts. Quite a few are used to my shenanigans by now. But I'm also gonna pass around a folder with this, and please take one or two or three or however many you think you can get in a storefront or get it somewhere visible to the general public. And then this guy is more of a letter. It's basically just something that we're going to be handing to individuals or individual businesses that we suspect would be interested in being a larger sponsor. So I'm gonna leave these paperclip just because I imagine they won't be quite as common, and just hand out those.
Can you tell some details of what's that?
So it is all detailed here, but each sponsor will get recognized on our large billboard. Each gets 2 complimentary tickets and a sponsorship badge to wear at the event, with either gold or silver star on it, depending on their donations. Plus, they will be given, live recognition during the live auction. And gold sponsorships are $1,000. Silver sponsorships are $500. And if you want more info on that, you can get in touch with me or just take one of these, because both my mother and my cell phones are on here.
And are you still soliciting donations for the auction?
Yes. And you can contact myself, my mother, or just stop by Callan Realty if you see me in the office, but I'm all over the place.
So thank you, Mac, and please pass along thanks to Adriana, your mother, for y'all are doing an amazing job with that. I have an update from her as well for the board today. The barbecue is our annual fundraiser. It's coming right along. And all of the, funds gathered through that fundraiser will go to youth programs and scholarships. So, the barbecue will be April 13th. And cleanup day will be April 6th. Thank y'all. I don't have it right in front of me.
1 week before.
Yeah, a week before the barbecue, we'll be cleaning, the Terra barn and getting ready, so that is a good time. That's almost as much fun as the barbecue itself, so, please mark your calendars. And if you have any items to donate for the auction, that's, a good money raiser for us too, and much needed. So, Bill.
And I have tickets.
Yeah.
They're not numbered, so I'm gonna number them so we can keep up with them. There's about 40 of us now, so that's good because last time we did this, we had 6 apiece. This time we only have to have 4. Buy a couple, give away a couple, sell a couple, what have you, but we need to get 200 sold. Paid for. Paid for, money in the bank. Scholarships and youth fund. It's all for good cause. So expect to get tickets.
So if people buy online, then what?
If we sell more than 200, that's a good thing.
Okay, all right, so we don't have to worry about getting tickets to people who buy online.
Right. So we'll make sure they get their tickets.
We're gonna act like we're gonna oversell.
They're $40.
We're not gonna cancel the flight.
Cash or check is $40. If you pay online via credit card, use PayPal, it's $42.50 to cover our transaction fees. And that includes all you can eat barbecue, beer from Iron Pipe, and wine from Holly.
I mean, that's a bargain. All you can drink, all you can eat, and lots of fun and fellowship. So please pass the word around. And we'll share on social media once it gets posted, and, we're gonna have a great time. I'm rambling and cutting into DG Renee's time. Are there any more announcements?
Real quick, and this is the chamber announcement. Our centennial celebration is 3 weeks away. If you haven't gotten your tickets, we're down to like 50 left. Please go online and get your tickets. But it promises to be a great time. We're very excited about it. This is a once in a lifetime, folks. None of us are gonna be around for 200, so let's do it up.
Chamber event, and we know how much chamber helps support our events, and we always do the same. We have a great partnership as we illustrated at our 5th Tuesday recently, so
Which was amazing.
which was amazing. Yeah, let's just reiterate that. That was so much fun. So we'll see everybody at the chamber event, hopefully. All right. So without further pause, I'm going to introduce to you our DG Rene Laws, and the bio is so amazing, and I don't want to miss anything, so I'm gonna go through this kind of quickly, but I want you to have a real feel for this amazing person that I was fortunate enough to meet last year at CPEDS. And Deanne will be traveling to CPEDS in just a couple weeks, so keep her in your good thoughts and prayers as she travels, but we know she's gonna be having all the fun while we're back here. And she's gonna be interacting with folks with a lot of energy and a lot of enthusiasm, such as DG Renee and incoming DG Amelia. Deanne, I'm so excited for you. You're just really going to enjoy it. And it's an awesome experience. Not only will you learn a lot about Rotary, but the folks that you meet at CPEDS is amazing. We also have some folks traveling to RLI, so
I'll be there too.
we've got a handful of folks, more than a handful going. We're gonna have great representation. So thanks to anybody here who has signed up for RLI, you're gonna really enjoy that as well, but okay, now I'm rambling again. All right, Rene Laws has a passion for service and has dedicated much of her life to causes that help her community domestically and globally. Beginning as a young military spouse, she explored volunteering through the USMC Key Volunteer Program, providing much needed family support before, during, and post deployments. She expanded her service reach in the 29 years that followed by working with organizations such as Navy Marine Corps Relief Society, Marine Spouses Clubs, USMC Family Readiness Program, where she helped develop and execute the program for Marine Forces Reserve in 2008, the Marine Toys for Tots Foundation, and various charitable organizations and churches, including educational and intramural school clubs. I'm just getting started, y'all. Raising 6 children with her Marine husband and moving away many times over the years. Can you imagine moving many times with 6 children? Has given Renee a unique perspective on her communities and those that reside within, helping her to see the gaps in assistance and provide support when available. In 2013, Renee was introduced to Rotary. Yay! Lucky Rotary. And it broadened her horizons and she became a member of the international organization via the North Stafford Rotary Club. Since that time, she has expanded her level of responsibility within Rotary, becoming club president in 2018 and District 7610, that's our district, chair for diversity, equity, and inclusion in 2019, while also stepping into the job of Area 4 Governor. She is an RLI graduate, a Paul Harris Fellow, and a member of the Paul Harris Society. She strongly believes in the ideals of servant leadership and is excited and ready to serve the Rotarians and communities here in Virginia as the District 7610 Governor. Oh my gosh, welcome.
Y'all have a firecracker here and one behind her, I'm telling you what. Amelia, Stansel is gonna be the district governor on July 1st, and y'all better watch out because she's younger. She surprisingly might have more energy than me, and so y'all are in for a treat, but yes, I am so honored to be the district governor. I'm honored to go to events outside of our district and proudly say District 7610 is my home. We work with a few other districts that are local to us to provide that Chesapeake President-elect training seminar that Crystal was talking about. And there's gonna be some pictures here in the presentation that'll show you a little sneak peek into what we did last year, so you can have an idea of what you'll be going through. It is a fire hose of information, but it's fun. And so take it, get a lot of sleep, hydrate. Beforehand, there will be a couple of big keynote speakers. You've got Barry Rassin, who is a former international president. He'll be a keynote speaker. Currently, he's the trustee, the board of trustee chairman for the Rotary Foundation. So kind of like one of the biggest positions in Rotary besides president, and he's coming to CFES this year to speak. You'll get to meet him, and he and his wife are incredible. I don't know if Esther's coming. She is. I'm gonna have to text her and find out. But when I joined Rotary in 2013, I had absolutely no idea what was about to happen to me. I came across Rotary in one of my other volunteer capacities. Someone that I was working with on an event said, "You're really good at events. My husband's Rotary Club is having an event. They could probably use your help. You should go to a meeting and check it out." And I was like, I don't have time. I have no time to go to another meeting. And so they said, well, there's a social event. And I said, now you have my attention. They were having a social event. There were some Aussies in town that were on some Rotary vocational exchange. So it was a bunch of policemen from Australia. They were a good time. So they were at this event, and 4 or 5 clubs from our local area were at the event because they were kind of sponsoring these guys to, you know, be there. And wouldn't you know it, that night they were like, "So are you interested in Rotary?" And I was like, "I am now. You got my attention." I was meeting all these people from the area and realized I didn't know much about where I was living. I only knew about the military community and the neighborhood that we were in and the schools my kids were in, but I didn't really know a bunch about Stafford. So I said, all right, let's join this club and find out what this thing is. And it turned out the event that I was helping them prepare was the 350th Founder's Day of Stafford County. So I learned a little bit about my community in the next year and helped them put on one hell of a show. We had a parade and it was amazing. And then after that, they said, do you want to stay in the club? Do you love Rotary enough to stay in Rotary? And I said, I don't know anything about Rotary yet. I've only found out about Stafford. I guess I have to stay. So I stuck around, went to RLI, learned about Rotary, and really fell in love with the organization. Just seeing what my community was able to do in that first year to celebrate and to put that whole event on for the people in our community, I realized that Rotary was something that I wanted to be involved in. So I joined, not knowing that eventually I would be standing here in front of you, in front of a completely different club, visiting, I think I'm 46 clubs now that I've seen so far, maybe not quite as many, but I know it's over 40. I had no idea. So this has been such an adventure, and I keep, how are you? This man was the principal of my children's school. Yes, I recognize you. I totally recognize you. 5 of my children went to North Stafford High School. Yes, amazing. 5 of my 6 kids, yeah. So anyway, okay, well, I'd like to introduce you to Gordon McAnally. This is the current president of Rotary International. He's from Scotland and he's a dentist. I like him anyway because he's now retired. Top right-hand corner photo, you can see, this is how Rotarians spend 98% of our time. Having a good time, or we wouldn't be here, right? I mean, we like to have a good time, so does the president of Rotary International. Last January, we're all in Orlando, all 540 incoming district governors from around the world. For our final training, we trained for 2.5 years for this. They don't take this lightly. We're in charge of a lot of important stuff, they tell me. And so we were at our final training, and that was a special night. It was Sealy night. We were having like a Scottish event, and we had haggis. I don't want to talk about it. The music was wonderful. Gordon's wife Heather, there in the bottom corner photo, she's a professional singer, and so she performs some Scottish folk songs for us, and it was a really special night. But I just wanted to highlight that we're all in Rotary. We all do the same stuff. We're just doing it in different places than inside the 4 walls of the Orange Club. We're doing it inside the 4 walls of the world. And so this was an incredible experience. This is also where the event where I learned that creating hope in the world was going to be the theme that was going to be for my term as district governor, which is very important because we formulate a lot of our planning around what the theme is going to be so that it makes sense to everyone, which is the purpose of the theme. But when he started talking about creating hope in the world, I could feel the energy in the room start to get excited because we were like, yes, right now we need a lot of hope. That's exactly what we need. And so we were thrilled, but top photo, how we spend 98% of our time. Bottom photo, how we spend 2% of our time making sure people understand that we are professionals. We do represent a professional organization. But you know, why be here if we can't also have a little bit of a good time? So while we were there in Orlando, we spent an entire week. We had translation equipment. We had speakers from all over the world. And it was a lot, kind of like CPACs, but on fire. But he was able to really narrow down a vision for us. He was able to really tell us what he wanted us to focus on this year and help our Rotary members kind of focus and understand. So I'm here to kind of share with you his vision, my vision of what we would like to start seeing, not just this year. These are focuses so they can continue. This is just kind of a jumping off point. He asked us to help prioritize mental health, reduce the stigma around talking about it so that we can start to tackle the issue that is all over the world. Mental health in some parts of the world can mean institutionalization, it can mean being put in chains, being stuck somewhere and forgotten. It can mean incarceration. In the US and some other countries, it's more of a kind of a shame thing. You know, people are like, I am in therapy and I tell everyone I meet because it saved my life. So when he was telling us that this was something he wanted us to focus on, I was personally affected because I felt like, wow, my personal journey in my own life and my Rotary journey are aligning. And it was like, oh, the skies opened and I suddenly knew what I was gonna talk about when I did these visits. Because that is something that's nerve wracking. From the moment you become district governor, all the past district governors go, you know, your speech is the most important thing. You have to really figure out what you're gonna say in your speech. There's nothing that will send you more into a panic than someone telling you, you have to have a really good speech. So it was at that moment that I was sitting in my chair, almost sliding off of it because I couldn't believe what I was hearing from him, that mental health was gonna be a big focus, and that was a big focus in my life. So then I started to get really excited, and I thought, all right, this is coming together. So we're gonna delve more into that, but the real idea behind this is to make ourselves more comfortable in our own skin and around our family, which is Rotary. So when you're in these rooms, make this a safe place for you guys to open up and be able to talk about things that you need. You need to be able to ask your community what you need, and also to be able to step up. If you've committed to do something in the club, do it so that it doesn't bear on someone else to take up the slack, causing them maybe a mental health issue. You know, that person that you have in your club and everyone's like, oh my gosh, just ask her, she always gets it done, she'll get it done, just give it to her. Or him. That person might be at home going, I can't do this one more thing. Please don't give me anything else. I'm at the end of my wits. So we really have to kind of think about one another. And when we greet each other, sometimes we're like, oh my God, how are you? And your response is gonna be, awesome, because we're being polite. But what I encourage you to do is say, how are you? Your answer might be a little different, right? If I approached you that way and I was like, how are you? You might go, you know, I woke up and my back was hurting. No, it gives us an opportunity to know that we're really asking. The key though, after that sentence, is we have to listen, and sometimes that's the hardest part for me. Sitting on my hands and listening, I'll admit, but it's important. The second thing Gordon asked us to focus on is peace building. Now, he has an unusual concept for this, which I love, peace building through virtual fellowship. Befriending other clubs in other parts of the world so that you can learn about their culture, their language, what makes them tick, what they like to eat, what they like to dance to. And when you understand another culture, there's less conflict. If you get why they do A before C, or C before A, what? You can't do C before A, you can, you sure can. But if you want to understand why they do that and not get all in your own head about it, ask. So peace building through virtual fellowship. You can do it individually or as a club. And then empowering women and girls is the other. Now this is a carry on from Sheikh Armetta, who was international president a couple years ago. And when I first heard the term, I was like, what about the boys? I'm a mom, I have 6 kids. What about the boys? In areas of the world where the boys need help, it's there. It's there for the children, whatever they need. But communities flourish when women and girls are empowered. So the name of the program is Empowering Women and Girls. We're gonna dip into the mental health piece a little bit though. If you have any questions about the others, it's all on Rotary.org. You can just take a look, scroll through, find out some information. The Learning Center also has really great resources. And they're making it less of a training ground and more of a learning and development kind of situation. So it's really the interactive lessons are more fun. So let's talk about mental health. More than 264 million people worldwide are affected by depression. Show of hands, if you're comfortable, if you've personally been affected by mental health or know someone who's been affected by mental health, raise your hand. And if you have ever been in the 8th grade, your hand should be up. A tough time. Am I right? But this, if you have a brain, then you have the capacity to have a mental health issue. And we all have mental health issues all the time, small ones. Maybe they don't affect our life on a daily basis. Maybe they don't impact us but minute by minute, but sometimes they're the big ones. We miss work, we miss school. Those days when you need a mental health break, it's totally okay though. And that's what we have to get rid of, is thinking that it's not okay. It's okay to miss a day of work. Just like you can't walk because your back hurts, you also can't brain because your brain hurts. You know, you have to be able to do that. And we have to be able to understand from one another that that's okay too. So I'm gonna dip a little, sorry, it's a little warm up here. I'm gonna dip a little into my own personal story. Maybe you guys will understand a little bit more of why I am the way I am, and also why this is so important to me. So this was me in 2019, and the picture on over there on the left, that picture is the morning of my surgery. I looked right into the camera and took a picture so that I would know in the future if I needed to check in on me and see how I was doing, and if I really needed to keep doing the things I was doing, she would tell me that I was. So I was 338 pounds when I was president of my Rotary Club. And I was a functioning alcoholic who was literally just kind of making it through. Remember all the 6 kids and all the moves, and you guys are like, how do they do that? You do. You don't. If you don't take care of yourself, it comes back. And it came back for me. I kept taking all of those things and shoving them in boxes and putting them on walls because my kids needed me, my husband needed me, my community needed me, everyone else needed me. I wasn't paying attention to the fact that I also needed me. But I wasn't paying attention. Now, all the things I was saying to other people to comfort them and tell them that they had it and they were gonna make it and it was gonna be okay, I should have been telling myself. I was not. So, no big trauma. I was raised in a pretty standard family. I was adopted, but I was told that from the beginning. It wasn't something that I found out when I was 20. And so I kind of had a normal life, but I just didn't deal with anything effectively. And so I started to drink and eat and drink, and feel guilty about eating and feel guilty about drinking and just doing all of it. So eventually I'm sitting in my doctor's office and my doctor is saying, you have the trifecta of death. You have now suddenly high cholesterol, high blood pressure, I was pre-diabetic, and she couldn't see my stomach because my liver was too fat. Even though I wrote on my questionnaire, 2 or 3 special drinks a week. That was not true. And so she said, I recommend bariatric surgery. And I was like, no, that's a cop out. That's what you do. That's the easy way. I'm gonna really do this. I'm gonna do it. How many diets had I already done? A bajillion. I've done it all. I've done Weight Watcher. I've done everything. And I lost weight on every one of them. I couldn't maintain it for a 5-second flat. The second I was like, I hit my weight, I would just go back. So I finally had to make a decision that was gonna change my life, and I had to be sure I was ready to do it. And I thought that I was, and I was. Physically, my weight came off, the surgery was successful, I quit drinking so I could have the surgery, but I always knew that there would be a time where I could resume. And at the 1-year mark, the doctor said, you're healing nicely, you're losing weight, everything's great, you can resume drinking alcohol when you're ready. And I went, yeah. Oh no. And then it hit me, I can't do that. Because all of a sudden I realized I would just go right back there if I start drinking. So I decided I'm not gonna start drinking. But the next year proved to me that I either needed to start drinking again, or I needed to find another way to deal with the stuff that I had on all of those shelves. Because it started to come crashing down because sober Renee didn't have anything. I didn't have any tools to deal with this stuff. Obviously, that's why I was there in the first place. So I decided maybe I need to be locked up. Maybe I need to go away somewhere because I really thought I was losing it. I was spiraling and I was embarrassed to ask for help because I've been getting so many compliments about how well I was doing. You're healing it so well and you're doing it right. You're doing so good. Look what you doing for yourself. And I thought, not doing it right. They'll look at me like a failure. So I was frozen. I didn't know what to do. I have a cousin who's a child psychologist, medicine psychiatrist. And I called him up and I said, Luke, I don't know if I need a pill or a padded room, but I'm afraid that if I don't do something, I'm gonna go back right where I was. Then he kind of been a champion for me this whole time, cheering me on online, you know, social media and sending me little messages. And he was like, kind of like he was waiting for my call. He was waiting for the moment that I was gonna realize I needed something. And he didn't know if it was gonna be him or if he was just gonna see it happening, but he knew what I needed. He knew that I needed that. So he was not surprised that I called, but he kind of was surprised that I was so embarrassed. And he was like, I've been in therapy for 20 years, and I'm like, hey, you're a doctor. And he's like, yeah. Okay, the shame went away. At that moment, he just wiped it away from me and said, no, this is normal. And I went, oh, it is, okay. So I dove in and it saved me. If I hadn't dealt with the things that I needed to, I would be right back where I was, which means I would be on the path to death, either by my own hand or my body was gonna take care of it for me. So therapy actually literally saved my life. Now, bottom corner, to lighten the mood, that is proof that I have 6 children. There they all are. The picture in the top right-hand corner though is kind of like my success story in a little box. Because before my surgery, if I would go to the grocery store, which I did a lot, I would have to stop at that bench out front, the one where the disgruntled employees tell you, while we're smoking a cigarette together, exactly why they're disgruntled. And I'm telling you, Sherry's right, okay? But I would have to take a break and rest before I could go into the store and do my shopping, and then I'd have to rest at the end, leaning on the grocery cart the whole time. This past summer, I went to Los Angeles and I participated in something called Les Mills Live, and it's where they film these workout class training videos, and I got to be in the crowd, which they don't show the crowd because the crowd compared to the people on the stage is like night and day. They do have to kind of pan over and make it look like they're teaching someone. I was the someone. 1,800 of us sitting in the crowd working out for 3 days, and I could do it. Where before I had to stop at a bench, y'all. So thank you. Thank you. I wouldn't know how to go about, so thank you. I'll take it. Because this is not easy, y'all. It's hard, but it was the therapy that got me through. And so when my son commissioned Billy, when he commissioned as an officer in the Marine Corps in August, I was there fully. I was 100% there and I was able to participate in it. That's also, this is the picture from New Year's Eve, and I remember every minute. I also took pictures and video, and I told everyone, I will never use it against you, but don't forget that I have it. But it's, I have a new life. So everyone is always asking me, how do you have so much energy? How are you always excited all the time? And I'm like, because I got a chance and I'm not wasting it. I could be happy before. I have been happy before. I was happy when I was 338 pounds, but I wasn't really happy. I was just happy in the moments, but I wasn't happy. And now I feel happy, not every day, but happy, right? And so while I was in therapy, I started to kind of worry. Now, let's do the timing. I had my surgery in 2019. I had my in 2020, just like everyone else in the world. I got a therapist, thank God, before everyone else realized they needed a therapist. But I was in COVID during most of this. So it was a lot of internal work, and I was really grateful to be alone with my family and be able to do that and process that. So I was very fortunate in timing. And so as I'm talking to my therapist, I'm like, you know, I feel like I'm obsessing. I feel like I'm becoming addicted to my body and my health. What can I do to kind of reframe that? Because I just feel like I'm becoming obsessed. And he said, well, what you should do is find something else that you love, something that you're passionate about, something you can really get behind. Focus all your attention on that. Put all your extra energy that you're not spending on your own self, put it there, and you know that will help you get your path out of this. So I'm gonna give you 2 guesses as to what I focused my energy and time on while I was trying not to obsess over myself. And the first guess doesn't count because, yes, it was Rotary. So I came out of COVID like a Rotary butterfly. I had all the knowledge, the experience. I've been selected for DG, which I did over a video interview, which is weird. But they selected me. I was surprised. I thought that I'm just gonna try and interview and get some experience. And they were like, you're it. So I dove in, both feet, both hands, head first. And Amelia, you can see in the blue shirt, she's right behind me. She'll be district governor behind me. She was there. This was CPEX last year, Chesapeake President-elect Training Seminar. And this was all of the presidents that came. We fit into the zone. The way the zone fits is like segments of oranges around the world. So our little slice is this section of the US. Zones 33, 34 are paired together. This gentleman is the director, Jeremy Hurst. And he showed up at CPETS last year to kind of hang out with us. This is what our district looks like. These are the 4 districts that work together on CPETS. You can see there are neighbors to the north, south, and the east. And our district is really cool because it kind of looks like an inverted dragon in attack. If you, so my kids were entertained by that. Here's some more pictures from CPETS. Those are the other district governors. See, I'm not the only one that's a little out there. We were trying to entice people to, I don't know what we're thinking. We were like, come to CPETS, it'll be so fun. You can see Amelia's very excited about it. Michelle, the woman in the blue dress or the flower dress, that's the wife of Jeremy Hurst. They're from the Caymans. They came, the director. You can see Amelia. Robbie is behind her. She's in the burgundy. She'll be district governor after Amelia. I got to Photoshop Peter's head in there somewhere, but my current chief of staff, Peter Anderson, is going to be the district governor after Robbie. Why do we select people so early? Someone came up to me after a meeting and they're like, how are you going to foster change if you know who your leaders are going to be for like the next 4 years? And I'm like, well, here's the thing. There's a lot of training. There's a lot of training. President's trained for a year. District governor's trained for 2.5 to 3 years. So we have to identify people, but the changes are still coming because the changes are happening in the training. They're teaching us new things all the time. So when Peter gets here, he's gonna have the newest information, even though he's already been identified. And then the bottom left-hand corner, I just stuck this picture in here. The little, the beautiful blonde lady peeking over my shoulder is the incoming president of Rotary International, Stephanie Yurchik, second woman president of Rotary International. Gordon McAnally is really excited because he came right after the first woman president, right before the second woman president. So he said, even as a man, his place is secure in history because he's sandwiched between the first 2 women. So he's very thrilled about his position and he really honestly loves to work with them. But the cool thing about Stephanie is she's from our zone. She's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, go Steelers, and she is from our zone. So she is in our backyard. So we have access to the Rotary International president. Very exciting. I added a couple things to the list of things Gordon asked us to focus on. Polio and the 4-way test. I heard you guys recite, we recited together the 4-way test at the beginning of this. Incredible. And I love that that's part of our meeting. The reason I highlight the 4-way test is to remind everyone that it is a tool. It is a reflective tool. It is a mirror for us to look at to make sure we're following the 4-way test. But it is not a weapon to use against other people, to challenge them if they're using the 4-way test. That is not the spirit of the 4-way test. So I just deliver a reminder. And then World Polio Day was October 24th. Of course, it's coming again. We're at the end of a very long marathon. And we can do 2 things at the end of a marathon, I hear, because I've never run one and I won't. But I hear, and my daughter ran one and I was there when she finished, and you can either collapse and crawl in because you see the finish line and you know you've made it, or you can just pick up all your gumption and haul it till you get to the end. And the difference between those 2 things when we're talking about the race to ending polio is money. Fast, slow, lots of money, don't have enough. So I don't have 2.58 billion in my back pocket that it's gonna take over the next 7 years, if that's how long it takes us. There's like these estimated figures that they give us. But I know that you guys know people that could collectively come up with that, especially with the Gates Foundation giving us $2 for every single $1 we can raise, up to $50 million. So we can have 150 million overnight. So I like to look at this is one of my last slides because we're really trying to get out of here. The Rotary areas of focus here on the left. I like to look at that as the list of challenges that the world has given us. Here's what we need Rotary to do. Fix us, help us. The list over here on the right, those are the programs that we have in place that can combat that list on the left. And this is only a microcosm of what's available. I only put these up here to highlight kind of what's new and what's coming back in our district. But worldwide, we've got programs to cover every one of those. But again, it comes back to the financial contributions because we are all willing to roll up our sleeves and do the work. But we need the money to buy the things to do the work. So when I look at this list on the right-hand side, I'm just reminded how important it is to donate to the foundation. And if you don't have the money, because we don't always all have the money ourselves, we have times in our life where we're flush with cash and we wanna drop it in all the buckets. And then we have times in our life where we're like, who else has money? So if you're, whatever stage you're in, do that, just help. But keep in mind, while you're doing all of this, while we're providing service above self, I need you to be taking care of yourselves. Just like we need the water in the bucket to pass out to everyone and share. If there's nothing in the bucket, we're not sharing anything. So keep your bucket full. And if you need to take a mental health day, week, month, sorry, Crystal, if you need to take time away, do that. Because we just ask you to volunteer. We don't ask you to work 60 hours a week. That's just. I just want to show this picture one more time because this is the future leaders of District 7610. These are all the presidents that attended. These are the facilitators that helped and some of the PDGs that were there as well. Also, though, some of these folks could go on to lead and have hot positions in the zone. Some folks in here could end up having positions at RI. There might be on those stairs a future president of Rotary International. We won't know, except for another maybe 15 years. I know how long it takes. So just soak in that, and then I hope that together we can all continue to create hope in the world for decades to come. Thank you for being in Rotary.
Okay, I know we have to get out of here at 10 till, but I will give you a couple minutes if you have any questions for Renee.
I want to do a quick selfie too. Why don't you come with me right here? We're gonna have the crowd behind us, and I just want everyone to give us a peace sign. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Okay. Oh, yeah, yes, and you know it'll be on social media.
Questions for Renee? Wow. First off, Renee, thank you for sharing your story, and your story, I think, will help a lot of people all over the world, and especially here too. So thank you for that. Question, Curtis.
But passion and energy is just people off the charts and should be celebrated. What is your next step?
What is my next step? Oh, okay. Well, I was asked by Amelia to help with the mental health initiative committee that we have at the district level. And then in the zone, I've been asked to help, I'm on the planning committee for an event that's happening in October where we're training all of the district governors for our zones are coming in. I'm the programs person for that event. And I'm helping Amelia with the district conference that she's putting together for the fall. So
it's good, you're not going anywhere.
I'm not going anywhere. I'll be around. I'll be around. Yeah, I'll be in the district and maybe exploring stuff in the zone too. So I'm kind of excited about that. So yes. And oh, later today, sorry. You know what? Let's do a quick reading because I'm gonna be at a reception this evening with Gordon McAnally. Because he happens to be in District 7620 for a foundation event, and of course I got this invitation. And so I'm gonna see him. So do you guys want to just do a quick video where you're saying hello to him?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So maybe we just say on the count of 3, hello, President McAnally. How does that sound? Okay, I'm gonna do this out. Okay. All right. 1, 2.
Hello. From Orange.
I love that. That was amazing. He's gonna love that. I messaged him on Facebook last night and I said, Gordon, just a warning, Dolores invited me to your District 7620 Foundation event. And he was like, thanks for the warning. I can't wait to see you.
Thank you, Renee. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and break. We're gonna head over to Orange Baptist Church. Thank you, Joe. I know you're helping clean up, and thank you for taking care of it. I know there's folks waiting to get the taxes done. Thank you all for being here today. If you can't make it to the board meeting, that's okay. But thank you, and a huge thank you to Renee. Thank y'all. Have a great day.
Yeah, let's do that again. Yeah, well,